You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 79. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest, he is the founder and owner of Black Men United. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by his story. Let's chop it up with Antonio Givhan. Antonio, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going good, man. I'm blessed. How it's going with you?
Glad to hear that, man. All is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I thank you for, inviting me in, man. Hey, all thanks to God.
Yes, sir. Of course, we're here to talk about Black Men United and what you got going on over there. But before we go there, let's get to know the man behind it all. What's your story?
Hey, man, I'm Antonio Givhan from the west side of the Gump, man, Montgomery. Went through Lovelace Elementary, McIntyre High, Junior High, and Carver High, the best. So, man, just being here, raised by my grandparents. Mom had problems growing up, man, drug in jail, but made change in 2011, got her life changed, man, and back on the right track. But, man, just growing up, with mom, my grandma and granddad, it just, she gave me that love I need, and my granddaddy gave me the discipline. So, man, just I noticed in our neighborhoods, we missing that love from the dad, the guidance, the discipline from the dad. So the West Side is a beautiful place to come from, man, and I love love Montgomery, and we got so many men here that got so much gift, but a lot of men, man, end up getting lost through the path and not being able to share their gift. Either they end up in the cemetery or in the penitentiary. And man, I want to make change, man, get Black men together and know the leadership that we bring to this world. And if the youth doesn't have anything to emulate, how can they do better? If we're not doing better, how can they do better? So, man, played basketball for Carver High School, man, went through college. Just had some different adversity going on, but I learned to find myself, man. And a lot of times we don't take care of ourselves as Black men, learn how to communicate my different problems and issues I have. And just, man, finding God, man, having faith in God, knowing that everything's possible when you trust God. I learned that people will let you down all the time, but God will never let you down. But focusing on our youth, man, they need so much guidance and need so much help. But if they don't see it, how can they be better? So my job is to, reach out to the men in the communities all around the Gump so we can come together, pull together as one, pour into each other, because I can't do it by myself. And the thing is a lot of division in Montgomery through Black men. We don't support each other. We have to learn how to support each other and come together. And now we can have a better generation. We can actually have heaven on earth.
Wow, man, that's powerful, man. Your upbringing sounds very similar to a lot of us who come up in the South. We get raised by grandma and granddad, and like you said, you got that love from grandma, you got that discipline from granddaddy. And it just overall, it takes a village. And it's not just when you're a child. As you grow up and come up through the world, it takes a village in all levels of life, man. And like, that's definitely what we need in Montgomery. And I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, we just need to come together and figure it out and work it out. So let's talk about it. You say you went to Carver, graduated from Carver, and went to college. Where you went to college at, man?
Hey, I went to LBW, man, had a basketball scholarship that failed. I was homesick. Granny had spoiled me, so I had to come back home. So I went to Alabama State, man, DASU. And when I started off, I wasn't ready because I was still immature. I was distracted by women. And all my, during that time, women was a distraction, temptation for me. However, I stopped Alabama State and I went to Trenton, man, and I met some great people at Trenton. So I ended up finishing my associate's degree in early childhood education. Then later on, I went back to ASU, got my master's in early childhood education. Then I proceeded to my master's in at Troy University. And I have my counseling, my master's in counseling, school counseling. Now I'm on this journey, man, to get my doctoral degree in marriage and family counseling.
Wow, man, what a journey. It ain't how you started, how you finished. Like you
It's
said,
how
you
you
went to
finish.
school, got homesick, came back, attended the Alabama State University, and just had some distractions. It happens, man. But the most important thing, you finished, you got it done. So let's talk about that. Like briefly, what was that HBCU experience like during your time at Alabama State University?
Oh man, I loved it, man. They were so supportive, man. You met a lot of people from around the world, like people from Detroit, from different areas. And I mean, man, when I enjoyed the experience there and just seeing Black people come together, learning how to cope with in a different environment. And you learn and you just learn different patterns. And as I went through that journey, I still had some immaturity in me. However, what my grandma and granddaddy imputed in me, it started to shine. So, man, being at ASU was, man, it was phenomenal. It was a blessing. So, man, shout out to ASU because, man, it was good. It was a good experience.
Yes, sir. Definitely that melting pot. Like you said, people from all over, we come together. People from Cali, New York, Detroit, Florida. We all come together over there on South Jackson Street, man, and we become family.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Black Men United, man. Let's talk about it. So when was it formed and what you got going on over there?
Hey, man, Black Men United was formed June last year, 2022. Me and my friends, we was just talking about, hey, man, we got to make a change for the community. So they kept on saying, man, they called me Pig. Pig, man, you got it, man. You've been talking about this. We've been talking about go and do it. So I went on and stopped being scared. I had fear placed in my heart, being nervous. But then everybody always called and asked for my opinion, my counsel. And also my wife and I have our counseling practice. So, learning about the brain and working with the Department of Early Childhood Education, man, you learn about from 0 to 5, the brain is developed. 95% of the brain is developed. So if I know all this information, why not go ahead and share it? So I got over the fear in June. We started our chat and choose. So we do it once a month. So it's now we're gonna do it from January to November, and December be the resting time so people can be with their family. So what we do once a month, we have a chat and choose. So we talk about different topics. The first time we meet, we talked about self care. How do we take care of ourselves as Black men? Do we learn how to have the coping skills to talk about what goes on? Do we have strategies embedded in us to help us through life? So I started off with that, and we did stuff on injustice. But this month, man, when I tell you tomorrow at 2:30 at Kershaw YMCA, we talking about temptations that Black men face. The temptation Black men face. It's going to be good. And we're going to show how the heart is very important to have a good heart. And when we get there, man, you come as you are. We have everybody have discussions. We talk about things. It's a safe place for men that you feel comfortable. You're not judged. You're not worrying about what this person say. We actually pour into each other because I might be the leader of it, but we all are equal. So we got to understand when Christ came here for us and died for our sins, he said, no male, no female, no Jews, no Gentile. He was saying that nobody's better than the next. But as Black people, we have been getting the short end of the stick. And it seems like we look at other races more, superior than us, or they're on top. But man, we are equal to anybody in this world, but we got to have faith and believe and trust God that to give us the path. We got everything in our heart, but we got to find a way to bring it out. So tomorrow we talk about the temptations that keep us where we at, to fight against each other, to envy each other. And if you remember the Willie Lynch letter, man, they had a strategic plan to keep us down, to envy each other, not to have trust in each other. And black men, that's what we're missing. We're missing the trust. And then we want what the next man have. And not understanding that we don't have to hate our brother. And we got to move that hate and evil away from our heart. We was born with hate and evil in our heart, but we was born with good as well. So the environment that we're in, it causes us to either be more good or be more evil, have more hate or have more love. So what we do is, man, have men to come there. We just talk about things. And what I do is I do it from a perspective model.
Mhm.
Um, what I do is have a 6 and I had a 9. So we look at it different perspectives. Some see the 6, 9. But then I throw a different perspective in there. If you're looking from the side, somebody say it looked like a G. But then I showed them something else. It looked like a balloon with a string. So developing and expanding their perspectives on life, man, just helping them with developing growth mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Wow, man, that's a powerful thing you got going on over there at the Chat and Chew. It sounds like to me you creating a safe haven for black men, like you said, to come and be vulnerable, not worry about being judged. Because we definitely need a place to just come and be able to be free and just talk about things and have those important conversations, as you said, you all are having at the Chat and Chew. And I wholeheartedly agree, man. We definitely we operate in the spirit. Kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, how you had fear of even starting it. We as black men, we operate in the spirit of fear. That's why we're in competition with each other instead
Yes,
of in the
sir.
spirit of faith and saying, you know what, that's my brother. We can collaborate. We can make this thing happen. And the other point you made, I agree with wholeheartedly. We're neither superior nor inferior to anyone. We're all equal. We all created in the image of God. He created them the way he created us. So we should never walk around with our head down like we're less than. So that's powerful what you've created over there at Black Men United. Much respect.
Yes, man, and I really respect you for reaching out because a lot of of our people don't reach out, man. And what we have to do be a partnership with each other and understand that, yeah, you might be doing this, I'm doing that, he doing that, but if we come together, it's more power. You have more impact, more
Mhm.
positivity, and what we have to do is change our mindset. So it's all about the head. So if your head and people think your mind is in your brain, man, your mind is in your heart. So if your heart ain't right, nothing else right. Your soul is in your heart. So we God gave us the spirit, the whole left the Holy Spirit with us to influence us to do well, to do better. However, you still got temptation, the devil, you still got enemies out there that want to distract you from the good. But we have to change our mindset. We got to have love in our heart. And if we have love in our heart, we going to come together as one. And the Bible said, before the end of time, the bottom will be on top and the top will be on bottom. So, black men out there who's listening, I want you to know that we're special. You are a gift. And we will together we're going to come together soon. And we're going to have what we always needed and always should have had and was taken from us. But when we get on top, we got to remember who was the source. We got to remember that we still have to treat people right. We got to love our enemies. We got to forgive our enemies. And we got to come together as one. And once we get on the top, now we can lead and be an example of the world.
1000%, man. I agree. And I was just sitting here, just hearing you talk, and everything you're saying is spot on. And what I gather from it is just we just have to get on that level of community. Because if we work together, that's why these other cultures, man, that's why they flourish. They have a sense of community, man. They come together. And Antonio, we used to have that, man. Think about it,
We used to, man.
like Big Mama and Big Daddy and all them coming up back in the days. Like we worked together. Like if you had if I was short on sugar and you had sugar, I could get it from you. If you needed eggs and I had eggs, you can get them from me. And there wasn't no competition. We lost
But you
that.
know what happened, man?
Talk to me.
The love of Money. Once they put money and they divided us, man.
Mhm.
Like the United States saying honor God, but it's division already because you have Democrats and Republicans.
Mhm.
You run off a division, a dividing system. So how can we be together? How
You're
can we?
right. You're
And
right.
then if you look in so many people, man, and I'm not stepping on toes, I'm just teaching the truth and speaking the truth. It's on my heart. God told me to say it. We look into religion instead of God. So if you have Church of Christ, the Baptist, you have Jehovah Witness, Seventh Day Adventists, all these different religions. That's division in itself. We supposed to all serve one God, and that's what they did. They separated us, man. And if we all just come together, trust the process, and it's gonna take. You're gonna have people who gonna talk down on you, but you got to have the mindset. You got to have the heart of love. And once you show your love, people can't help but to fall in line. And we got to concentrate as men that we are the head and we got to lead. And we got to lead our families, our women. And that's why our women go into other races because we're not showing the leadership. We want them to be submissive, but we're not being a great leader. So we have to change our mindset, change our heart, change our soul, and allow our spirit to lead our Black women, our children, our communities. But we got to be right. The head has to be right.
1000%, man. And that is something that my wife and I, we talk about quite often, just in terms of, Black men wanting women to submit to them. But you first have to ask yourself, are you even worthy of being submitted to? Like, would you, like, I look at it like this, Antonio. I don't have kids yet, but I will one day. And I look at it like this. I I have to look at it from the standpoint. I have to operate and move in the space of the type of man I would want my daughter to submit to,
Yes,
because
sir.
because the thing is, like, we got to get on code. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, Black men got to get back on code, man. Like, we got to get away from all this stuff that's that's destructive for our community and get back on the same page. Like what you're doing over there with chatting too, man. So I definitely, I think it's amazing stuff that you got going on, man. So let's transition over to the next portion. Whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: aha moment, action, and audacity. Let's start with your aha moment. Take me back to the moment when you first had the idea to create this Black Men United organization.
Man, it was back at ASU. I was thinking about the fathers program, and I was like, man, well, fathers program, the mentor program. Me and my boy Eric Hyatt, and we talked about like, man, we got to get these boys together, and it's called B2L, Boys to Leaders. And we was like, man, and then time passed, and a lot of times we think, God don't give us some, man, it wasn't worth it, but it's not your time. So I kept thinking, and then my partner Jeff Jones, Jefferson Jones III, and Travis Jones, they really said, "Hey man, you can do it, man. You got it. You got the tools, man. You work this. People always reaching out to you." So last June, I said, "Man, let me stop being fearful and just go out here, be who I am." And a lot of times we get distracted because maybe your communication skills might not be like certain races or certain people. So we find self doubt. Now your self confidence is attacked. So once, man, I had a group of brothers who believed in me and trusted me, and man, I pushed forward. Then I can't stop.
Mm. That's amazing, man. And you pretty much already covered the action portion. You got started in June 2022, been rocking and rolling ever since. So that last portion, audacity, sounds like those gentlemen, they help give you that courage, that audacity to step out there. Anything else you want to add to who or what gave you that audacity to get started?
Man, first I want to thank God and my grandma, man. My grandma gave me that unconditional love, and I thank God for placing her in my life. If it wasn't for her, man, Dilson made Givhan. If it wasn't for her, I don't know what would I be, man. So God placed me in the right place with the right person. Also, my wife, man, who's really just been so supportive since day one. Understanding being with me when I was immature, and now she's on that path of just being with me, dedicated to me and to my children, man. Thank God for my children. And my brother Nathan Givhan, man, he's just declared to the NFL. Man, being able to, at 16 was the only child, then seeing my brother come in, God laid responsibility on me. And me and my grandma raised him, man. And for looking at the man he is now, it just showed me that I was on the good path. And then my mom was on drugs, you know, most of all my life, but she showed the change and the dedication that you can change. 2011, man, she made a change for the good. And me and my mom had the best relationship ever. 2020, man, when I lost my grandmother, man, the best thing that I had, I lost her, man. And January 16th changed me. Then that year, I found myself getting saved, giving myself to God, and just being dedicated to God's plan. When I dedicated myself to God, man, it showed me a different way of life. And just I tell everybody out there, don't matter where you come from, don't matter where you at right now, you can change. It's already in you to change. God sent us with a special gift as African American men. We have the gift. It's in our heart. We got to surround our heart with love, with patience, with faith. And all that comes from God. If you have God as your head, your life will get better.
Powerful stuff, man. And it's basically just that village you had around you gave you that audacity to press forward. And it just comes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, it takes a village, man, from child to adult. We need that village. We need that supportive group around us to hold us accountable and give us praise and to keep us pushing forward, man. That's amazing stuff.
And with that Black Men United, man, the chat and chew, that's all we do, man. Because a lot of men, you know, we shut down. If
Mm-hmm.
conversation ain't go nowhere, we shut down. We don't talk. We disconnect. And our wives wonder why we like that. It's just how we are until we learn to do better. And we got to stop stonewalling. So I just give different tools, man, to help us. But the tools are already in us. It just have to be shown and highlighted. So, man, I try to go and highlight and pull out the light out of us men and let us know that, man, we are powerful as one. I can't do more than you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do more than I can do.
Mm-hmm.
We can do certain things, and we all are leaders. And that's what we have to understand. We're equal and we are leaders, and we all have different paths to lead.
Yes, sir. That's amazing, man. That's spot on. You are 1000% correct. And just harping back on, just hearing you talking about your story and your granny, man, I'm over here just thinking about mine, and she been gone. With my great granny, she been gone for almost 20 years. Well, 20 years, but it's just amazing, man. Like, grandma's love ain't that like it, man. It's just golly, it's so pure, and
It's
you
a
just
different.
it's
Oh
different, man.
man, you hit something. Man, you said something, it was pure. That means that was from the heart. Their love was from the heart, man. Pure
Unconditional,
love.
man. Yeah, unconditional, man. Like, granted, just prayed over you and just prayed for you and just wanted the best for you. And it's like we just we just lost that, man. So I definitely understand where you're coming from when you lost your granny. I can only imagine just those emotions, and but you also you dial back and you realize all the lessons that she taught you, and you've been able to translate those and apply those lessons in your life today, man. It's amazing, man. And they're like granny's love, man, for real.
And man, it's nothing, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. The system got us all messed up, man. And you think about it, back then in school, we had prayer in school, we had we had the word in school, and we had discipline. Man, the three things that us black men need and what this world need, they took it from us. So now, how can we have guidance? So if I don't hear church about God in the school, I don't hear it in the community. How do I know God? If nobody, I
Right.
don't see him. I don't know anything about it. So they stripped it from us from the school, and man, they use it as a weapon, man, because they know that those are the powerful tools that we need as black men.
1000%, man. The system definitely designed it that way, and unfortunately, we follow suit, and we've lost touch with those important principles that you just talked about.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. So, Black Men United has done great things. I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion: vision. What are your short-term and long-term goals for the organization?
Hey, man, short term goal is just to get the men involved. Long term goals to create leadership out of our men. So it's all about GD. I always say uh, growth and development. If we can get men to grow and develop to the men that we're supposed to be, we would have a better generation to come. So vision is, man, just to get us together, man, to work together, being able to build together, be able to buy our land and, get our land that was taken from us. But we first have to meet people where they are. And that's my main focus. Meet people where they are, because I can talk to a person that doesn't know about God. And if I'm just saying God, 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 and they don't know about him, you lost that person. So preachers and pastors have to do better when they're giving the word. You lead by example. So if you meet a person where they are, and they faith might be in their dog, their faith might be in the hood. But if you're talking over their head, and we know we see good potential in people, but if you're talking over their head, you lost them already. So we need to talk with people and meet them where they are.
Absolutely, man. Those are great goals, both short term and long term. And I have no doubt you'll make them all come to fruition.
Hey, man, with your help, man. And I appreciate you, man, for reaching out again, and just thank you for blessing me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So as we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast to highlight the greatness of the Gump, whether you're born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it military or college, you being a hometown hero. What makes you the most proud to be from the Gump?
Man, God, my people, man, us, you, hey, the world. The Gump is a great place, man. The capital of Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama is the best place to be.
Nothing else need to be said. So how can people connect with you, Antonio? What are your social media handles?
Hey, we have Black Men United on Facebook. I started Start Fresh with Mr. AFG on Instagram. And man, we're here. And Chad and Chew tomorrow, come out, enjoy yourself at 2:30 at Kershaw YMCA.
Yes, sir. And of course, I'll put all the information in the description of the episode. Hey, Antonio, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
Hey, man, thank you for your blessing.
Yes, sir. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.